Technique for installing SuperScreen using the patented screen clip system by Advanced Screenworks. The patented screen clips by Advanced Screenworks work extremely well with the SuperScreen material. Here's a pattern that shows the order in which they are inserted. Here you will see the screen clip being inserted into the spline groove. Notice how it snaps down in place and lays flat on the horizontal. There are two things to remember when installing SuperScreen. The first is pre-rolling, exactly the same as standard screen. This is where you roll the screen into the spline groove before inserting the spline. The second is back rolling. Back rolling is when you roll the spline 3 or 4 inches forward and then pull back and press down and roll the spline into the spline groove. One thing to be certain of is to use the groove side of your roller. Here is an example of pre-rolling with the groove side of your splining tool. This is what the spline looks like when it rolls into the spline groove. See how the groove in the roller rides on the spline and pushes it into the spline groove. 2 points regarding the spline. The bottom is flat and the top is slightly domed. Always insert the spline as you see here. Notice how he is pre-rolling the spline into the spline groove and then back rolling the spline down in. Here's a close-up view of this technique. First, pre-roll the screen into the spline groove. Remove the clip. Make sure the screen is rolled into the spline groove completely. Press the spline into the spline groove with your fingers. Start about 1 or 2 inches from the end and press the spline into the spline groove with the roller and roll backwards. This is called back rolling. See how he lightly presses the spline into the spline groove as he pre-rolls, then he presses down and pulls backward. Notice every time he rolls in 2 to 3 inch increments. For best results, never go more than 2 to 3 inches at a time. With this technique, it allows the spline to go into the spline groove, but not bunch the screen up if you rolled it like regular screen. If you roll SuperScreen like you do regular fiberglass screen, what you'll find is that you will push a bubble along the length of the screen. When you get to the end, you will have a huge bubble, and you will have to pull the spline out and reinsert it. The pre-roll and back roll techniques are extremely important to successfully installing SuperScreen. So as you see, roll forward 2 to 3 inches, push down, pull back with a vigorous downward motion, rolling the spline into the spline groove.